Hey yogis, did you realize that the mobilization of your thoracic spine plays a big role on scapular and shoulder stability and mobility? In other words, if you are having shoulder issues, it could be a result of your thoracic spine not moving as well as it should. Now, the thoracic spine, which is the part of the spine that our ribs attach to, the main way that it moves is actually via the breath. And many of us are not breathing effectively or efficiently, utilizing our breathing mechanics as well as we could. Ideally, when we breathe, we want the back part of the rib cage to expand as the diaphragm descends down. But what often happens is we're stuck in these kind of short, shallow breathing patterns where we're utilizing more of the muscles through our upper neck and shoulders. We're not fully expanding the rib cage or allowing the diaphragm to move as well as it should. And what happens then is that the thoracic spine gets locked up because it's no longer getting that subtle flexion and extension it would get with our breath. Now, if the thoracic spine gets locked up, what then happens is our shoulder blades or scapula start to wing off the back to allow for more movement in the shoulders because we're not getting it through the thoracic spine. So a couple of things that you can do, a couple of exercises that I quite like doing just to remind myself that this area does need to move. Firstly is the breath. So really focusing on how you're breathing and where you're breathing. So I like to bring one hand to the back of my chest and one hand to the front of my chest and just really focus on allowing the back rib space to expand back as I breathe in. And it's subtle, so don't think of it being a big, deep, expansive breath, but more of just the subtle movement front to back and also side to side. And if you really focus in on this, what you should start to feel is a subtle flexing and extending of the thoracic spine. And again, it is not a huge movement, so don't think of it being this large, gross movement that you can see. It's quite subtle and quite deep. So just a few rounds of breath here, just allowing the back of the ribs to expand, the side ribs to expand. And also just allowing the belly to rise and fall as well, because if you pull the belly in, you're going to actually end up sending the breath more into this upper chest rather than into the back of the heart. Now, if you have trouble accessing this breath in a seated position, you can do this lying down. And this is one of my favorite ways of finding this if I'm struggling, is to actually just lie down on your tummy. And as you breathe in, just feel your belly expand into the earth. And what will happen is the back will naturally start to expand towards the ceiling. And again, you don't want to be pulling the belly in. Good. And then from this position, we can play with a little bit of rolling. Rolling is a great way to see, how well the spine is moving. So make a star shape out of the body. You're going to try and keep your legs out of this and your core out of this. So think of this just being the upper body directing the movement in your head. You're going to look towards, in this case it's my left hand. I'm going to lift my left hand away from the floor. I'm going to follow it with my gaze. Without using pressure down through the legs, I'm going to use the rotation of the thoracic spine and the weight of the arm to pull me over. And then I'm going to go back the other way. So I'm going to look at my left hand, take it all the way over to the left. There'll be a moment where my head has to lift. The head is heavy. Keep reaching out with the fingertips, extending, and you'll roll over. Let's shift over to show the other side. So this time the right arm is going to extend up. I'm going to follow it with my gaze. I'm going to keep looking at the arm, keep my legs nice and relaxed, Use the rotation of the thoracic spine to pull me over. And then going back, reach through the right fingertips. Look at where you're going. Use the reach and the extension to roll the body. And what you'll probably notice, like I did when I first tried that when my thoracic spine was locked up, is I couldn't actually roll. Well, one way I could roll and one way just wouldn't go. So keep playing with it. It will come. Another good exercise I like to play around with is a little bit of an active twist. So you're going to bend one knee and place the foot on the floor, and then take the hands behind your head. Now you'll spiral towards your open leg first. Now the back elbow, in this case it's my left elbow, is going to search backwards. So I'm going to reach back as far as I can, keeping my feet and my leg on the floor. Then that elbow is going to search down towards the floor. I'm going to let my spine follow. I'm going to reach the elbow forwards along my left leg, circle it all the way up, and find the spinal twist to the right. And then I open out to the left again. Same thing, reach through the left elbow, lean back. So there's a little bit of core work as well. Elbow goes down as I search forwards and up through the elbow to face towards the right. And then one more time, spin it open, reach back, sweep down, sweep all the way forwards and all the way up to spiral to the right. And this time you can pause and just hold the twist. And just notice if your chin has gone further than the sternum. I'm just trying to maintain a sense of softness and ease in the twist. You're not just jamming yourself around. And again, focus on breathing into the back of the ribs and allow that gentle movement of the thoracic spine to gently twist the body. Good, and then come back to the center. And you could switch over and do that on the other side. So I hope you found this useful. If